Welcome to 61 tips for filmmaking in just 10 minutes. Now, in order to understand this, you have to watch the 10-minute movie first without our little narration explaining it. So click on the link here, watch the movie first, and then come back. Otherwise, it's like watching how a magic trick is done without actually seeing the magic trick itself. So click now, watch Kindness of Others, and then come back here when you're done. So if you're doing a short story, you want to set up the story right away. Notice how we set this up in the first 30 seconds. Also notice we chose a place with an interesting background, so we didn't have to set up a background. Notice they're on the web, we simply opened a new window and pasted it over their window. We have a icon in the corner, which is just a little JPEG, and if you'll notice, you could hear their voices really good because we've EQ'd out the middle part of the equalization, allowing their voices to come through a little stronger. Here you notice we do a little bit of a zoom in and pull back at the same time, giving us that creative sort of digital effect without having to do something digitally. Here we have a studio background, and you can click on our other video to see how we made this background.
It can't be that hard. It's only a year.
Here we found a place in town that had a cool mailbox and asked the owner if we can use it.
They picked me. My adventure was about to begin.
Here we waited till the sun was going down to get the shadows, and we showed action toward the camera. We cut it with two particular pieces, but another tip is also block out your actors where they stand, so when they're walking out here, the camera does very little movement. It's the actors that know where to stand and say their particular lines. So when Amanda comes out and delivers this line, she knows exactly where to stand.
Put him in the bin. Well, can I at least wait with you for your ride?
Yep, she's perfectly in frame. The next tip is to borrow something you see in another movie. This is sort of the kind of stance you would see in Napoleon Dynamite. We like that movie, so we borrowed it and used it for our movie. Next tip is to try to add some humor visually without saying anything. Here's some humor of just the RV picking up the wrong person just to make it more interesting. This is a shot we did by having a little clamping the camcorder onto a little stand inside the RV. Tip number 14 is add sound effect for physical humor, and tip number 15 is put the camera on the ground, run over it in both directions, and edit together. This is another tip, would be called an up the body shot. This is a circle of the body shot. Next, walk over top of camera shot and use the weather creatively. So tell your actors, hey, if there's a foggy or rainy day, can I call you up and we can go out and shoot the shot? That way you don't need a rain machine. That tip would be filming in an angle.
I had to get creative.
This is appearing in the foreground, reestablishing your subject would be the tip there. Here's a little cut humor. So we used fast action. And here she stood in place for 20 minutes. So have your actor stay in place for 20 minutes. Put it on the timeline in your editor. Have everybody else go by. Here we have some purposely cuts. You'll notice it's going to cut as soon as people walk in front. We did this on purpose. We wanted it as a nice edit. Right here. And it cuts to something else. And also we purposely reframe. So reframe on the cut as people walking in front. Use an overhead shot. Notice we use late in the day, and we have the symbolism of the picket fence. We thought was good because it's almost like she's feeling trapped in jail before this part of the film. Once again, action toward the camera. And the next tip here would be give your audience something they don't expect, and you'll keep them on the edge of their seats.
It was the season
And here we used a low angle. Next tip here would be take
and
advantage of what you have in your town going on. In this case, Christmas.
I hope they don't mind.
Here we use sound effects. There was no rain. And if you can't open a garage door, just pretend like you did. We added sound effects here to simulate morning. And this would be the low angle shot, over the shoulder shot. Would be the next one here. That would be the reverse shot.